Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya akan menceritakan dongeng atau kisah untuk yang dilombakan, yaitu storytelling, yang berjudul The Voice from the Old House on Cross Street. That night rain poured heavily. Thunder ripped through the dark sky like a forest scream. Cross Street, a small road on the outskirts of town, was deserted. The house along it were all many abandoned. But one stood, what the most, a large decaying house at the very end of the street. Its paint peeled off, its windows cracked, and I trust the iron gate leaned forward as I tired of standing. The local college is Sulastri House. No one dared to get near it, especially after what happened 12 years ago, when a family that had just moved. It was found dead without any clear cause. The police closed the case as an accident, but everyone in the neighborhood knew the truth. Something lived inside that house. Chapter 1. The Friday Night Challenge. At a small coffee stall near the alley, four young men sat together. Reno, Bima, Tio, dan Andre, the 11th Mirror Street. Hey, tomorrow Friday the 13 tahun, Bima Said. Like a cigarette, you guys break enough to go inside Sulastri House. Reno, the boldest on the group, will pat down his coffee. Why not? I use an empty house. Theo chuckled nervously. They sat at night. You can hear a woman crying inside. You're not scared of that? Probably just a cat. Reno surveyed. Andre, woke Bin finally spoke softly. I once walked past that house and 2 in the morning. I heard a child being dragged across the floor. No one was there. The group fell silent. Outside, the rain began to patter. All right then, Bima Said, slapping the table. Let's profit tomorrow night. Wafer chicken out threats everyone. They all laughed, but the laughter did sound real. Chapter 2. The Mirror in Sulastri Room. Reno insisted to go upstairs. The wooden steps creaked under their feet. On the second floor were 3 doors. The middle one stood half open, and from inside came the strong scent of jasmine. Might need jasmine, Andre whispered. They laughed. If you smell that, a spirit is near. They entered the room. Inside was an old wooden bed, a large wardrobe, and a tall mirror standing in the corner. The mirror was cracked down the middle, but still reflected their image clearly. Bima pointed the flashlight toward it. The four of them called see themselves, but the Theo stammered why are there 5 people in the mirror? T froze. Yes, there was a 5 figure standing behind Reno. A woman with long black hair covering her face, wearing a torn with rice. The flashlight suddenly went out. Darkness swallowed the room. They came a whisper. Why did you come here? Reno shouted. Where are you? No answer, only the sound of heavy breathing, followed by soft footsteps coming closer. Tap, tap, tap. When the flashlight flickered back on, the woman was gone. But in the mirror, half reflection was still here, smiling with her head upside down. Chapter 3. The Cry from the Bedroom. The panicked and ran out the room From the end of the hallway came a fine splashing sound, water dripping, and a woman softly crying. Theo sobbed, "I wanna go home, Reno, please." But Reno, stubborn as ever, whispered, "We have to see what it is. Might be someone playing tricks." The bedroom door was half closed. Through the gap, they could see the shadow of someone sitting on the floor. Reno pushed the door open slowly. Entry, she was a pale woman with long hair, her eyes empty, her face expressionless. In front of her was a bucket filled with red water broth. She turned to face him slowly and smiled, a smile so with her cheeks torn apart. Bima fell backward. Theo screamed. Andre bolted down the stairs and Reno stood frozen. The woman whispered. Right after she said that, the flashlight burst and went dark. Chapter 5. The Endless Hallway. They rushed toward the back of the house, looking for another way out. But then they went through the kitchen door. They found themselves in a long hallway that had been here before. Doors lined both sides, and behind everyone came different sounds: babies crying, people longing, whisper bruising against their ears. Reno grabbed one doorknob and turned it. Inside was a small room with Andre standing motionless in the corner facing the wall. "Andre!" Reno shouted. "Andre, died, move." Reno walked close. The Andre slowly turned his head, his face pale, eyes completely black. In a voice that was his own, he said. The door slammed hard. Theo screamed and ran down the hallway, but no matter how far he ran, the hallway kept repeating itself. Every return led to the same verse, somewhat the same whisper. Bima and Reno chased after him, shouting his name until suddenly Theo vanished into thin air. Only his voice remained answering faintly. "Help me." Chapter 6. The fire returns. Only Reno and Bima were left. They stumbled into what looked like the living room again. The light flickered on top. There was no electricity. The walls began to darken, smoke seeping on from the cracks. "Fire," Bima thought, "is burning." But when Reno looked closely, there was no flame, just black smoke crawling along the floor, thick and alive, whispering. Then the voice returned, soft weeping. "Now you, I join them." Chapter 7. The last recording. The next morning, police arrived after neighbors reported screams. They found the house silent again, no sight of the boy. Only a single phone lay off the floor, still recording. In the video, Reno's shaky voice called, "We have."